Hello everyone and welcome back to the wacky world of 1960s party food, especially for the holidays. So we kind of had an odd one last time, Spam on an apple. And while that one was surprisingly tasty, I decided to go a little bit more into something that you may want to actually make in your own home. So we're gonna go ahead and do something that I think would actually be good as an appetizer, but also something that you may just want to eat for dinner like we're going to. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna go ahead and get this ham ready. Then we're gonna take a look at this wild little pamphlet full of foods that some are questionable and some are probably pretty good. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, we've got mustard, we've got maraschino cherries, we've got brown sugar, pineapple slices, and ham. That means we're going to the 60s. So I decided to do this little Betty Crocker's can-do recipes for one episode because, well, I'll show you later. This has just got some pretty wild little recipes in it. Now, here is the recipe in question. Of course, you've got to use tinfoil because we're featuring some Reynolds wrap in here, so you've got to sneak that tinfoil in somewhere. We're going to be making these little ham slices, which it doesn't put actually cherries in the ingredients list, but I went ahead and bought them because there's cherries in the picture, so I wanted to make it true to form. Now, you would serve just this on this little plate as an appetizer, but we're actually going to make this for dinner. So I have a smaller ham right here because there's only 2 of us that's going to be eating this, and I will be putting it with some rice and some broccoli cauliflower just to round out our dinner, but of course you can put whatever that you want to put with yours. Now, there's no date on this, but I am guessing it's 1967 because we did this little pamphlet last time, which does have a date in it, 1967. And you'll see right here, look what's poking out of this gold medal flour bag. This little thing. So apparently my grandmother went ahead and got this bag of flour so she could get this little book, and then she saved it. Now, let's go ahead. This is an incredibly simple recipe to do, so we're not going to be in the kitchen very long, and then we can look through this little book and finally do our taste test. And welcome to the overhead view. We're going to go ahead and drain 2/3 cup of our pineapple juice into our measuring cup. And now in a bowl, we're going to go ahead and put that 2/3 cup of pineapple juice in, along with our brown sugar. And then our tablespoon of mustard. Now, it doesn't look very appetizing yet, but we're going to give this a good stir and try to get these ingredients together. Now, of course, I've got my tin foil. Now, my ham is sliced a lot thinner than the ham that would have been recommended for this particular dish. So I'm actually just going to keep several of the stacks together. Maybe about that thick. And then we'll go ahead and brush on our syrup mixture. All right, so I've got my ham slices. 2 of them I went ahead and cut in half. These were, pretty long, so I wanted to kind of keep them more like the little appetizer size. So I went ahead and cut those in half. Now I'm going to go ahead and Halfway through the stack, I'm going to glaze with our mustard and our pineapple juice and brown sugar mix. Then I'll place that other stack back on top, and I'll glaze that one also. And I'm going to do that with each one. And that's it for now. I'm going to go ahead and bring this tin foil up and make kind of like a little foil packet. Then this will go in the oven for about 30 minutes. But make sure you save the rest of your mixture because we're going to need it again. And while the ham is in the oven, let's go ahead and look at this crazy little 1960s pamphlet that's got some very interesting food. And just look at that fruitcake. Look how heavy and dense that is. We also have this wonderful little array of bugles and something I didn't know actually existed. This is in the other booklet. We've also got whistles and daisies, but only bugles survived. So if anyone remembers eating those two, let me know because they look really good. I kind of wish they hadn't stopped making them. And so, of course, no party is complete without your tray of bugles, whistles, and daisies. You've also got some little cookies right there. This one actually has some pretty interesting little recipes going on. This is your cookies and bars, and all of them actually look pretty good. I thought about trying this one at some point and just substituting gluten-free flour. I think that one probably would be one of the best one, I think, out of this spread. We're moving on to the mistletoe buffet, and here you have your, I guess, tree of olives and ribboned carrots and celery, and I'm not really sure what's going on there, but yeah, I think that's supposed to be a Christmas tree. You, of course, have your ham. You've got some really nice looking sides. This actually looks pretty good. The salad looks pretty good. And right here you have a Wesson Italian dressing that, of course, uses Wesson oil, but it actually looks really good. I think that would be tasty. And you can't forget desserts with your mistletoe buffet. You've got Nesselrode cake and caraway puffs and chocolate pecan pie. I bet that's actually really good. You've got your orange swizzles, which at first I thought was these things, but nope, it's actually the drink. These are some kind of like little cheese puff, I think. You've got another kind of bread right here, your CDQ fruited wreath. And then here we come to the one that I ultimately settled on just because I thought the ingredients actually sounded really good to put with ham, and I was really curious about it. You have all of your products that were featured in this, along with some coupons that, yes, I did think about taking to the grocery store to see if they would still work because I looked and there's no expiration date listed. But I couldn't stand the thought of actually cutting something out of the book, so ultimately I did not test that out. But here we have the other products that they featured. And then you have one last page of cookies, and really these actually look really good. And there you go. You've got a bunch of holiday treats. Thank you to 1967 and Betty Crocker, and I can't wait to see what this ham is going to taste like. All right, I've had this simmering on the stove on very low heat while the ham has been in the oven. So this should be nice and reduced and ready to use. And our ham should be ready. So let's go ahead and pull that out and see what we've got. Ooh, this smells so good. Oh, we've got a beautiful ham slices, but we are not done yet. We're gonna set this aside and we're gonna get our pineapple slices ready. Now I just need 6 slices, so we're just going to cut those in half. That way we'll have 1/2 to put on each ham piece. And that's it for that. So we're gonna slide this over, bring our ham back, and top each one of our hams with the pineapple. And now we're gonna take that mixture that we simmered on the stove and we're gonna brush it again over the ham and the pineapple slices. I'm actually gonna wait to put the maraschino cherry on top. The recipe did not mention it, so I kind of don't think we should put that under the broiler. So I'm just gonna go ahead and broil it like this and then add our cherries when I pull them back out. And now this is going to stay open and placed under a broiler for about 5 to 6 minutes. Ooh, look at this. I just pulled it out from under the broiler and it looks perfect. But first, we need to put our little maraschino cherries on top of each one. Now, to me, nothing says vintage recipe quite like a maraschino cherry. And I kind of miss how we used to use them in desserts and things like that because they're actually quite addictive. And yes, I have been eating out of this jar. Ooh, they look so cute. Let's go ahead and plate up and we're gonna try this 1960s party food appetizer. All right, here we go. Now we're gonna ignore the other sides on this plate because that's not in this book. This is just for our dinner. I just did a really simple roasted vegetables, rice, just salt, butter, very plain, because the main star of this plate is this little ham bundle right here. So let's just go right straight in for that. Here we go. Mmm. Mmm. That is everything you want in a piece of ham.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very good.
Oh, just the pineapple, the mustard, the brown sugar, everything is just coming right out with that. I'm going to take some of my slices and eat it with the maraschino cherry and see if that's good too. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is
I
about
like it too.
Pineapple that complements ham so well.
But
I had
so
no
good.
idea like the maraschino cherry actually did a good job too.
I know. To me, this is like, if I saw this at a party today, I wouldn't necessarily think of it as a retro appetizer.
Right.
I would just think it was good and just eat it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is something I think that you can go ahead and bring out into your party. I think maybe to update it, I mean, I wouldn't serve it on a plate of tinfoil like they did in this one because they're just trying to sell you more tinfoil. But as far as the dish itself, and you know, each person being able to get like a little mini ham with the pineapple and cherry on top, I think is really good. It's savory and sweet, all at the perfect levels. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna give this a 4, really good. And I'm gonna say, bring this out of 1967 and eat it today because it is wonderful. So there you go. So we didn't have a total fail of an appetizer from the 1960s. The Spam in the apple, you know, while it tasted good, don't know if I'd actually serve that again, you know, at a party. But this one, I certainly would. So hand it to this little pamphlet that was in a gold metal flour bag back in 1967. It's got some really good recipes in it. You may be able to find this on eBay. I've seen it a couple of times. You just got to catch it, you know, right when somebody puts it up for auction. And it's usually for pretty cheap. So if you want to add that to your vintage collection, I think it'd be pretty cute to add. So there you go, another Christmas vintage appetizer that you can serve at your party today. And yeah, wonderful food from a vintage time. Now for next week, we're going to be looking at yet another little vintage pamphlet, and let's keep our fingers crossed that retro recipe will be just as good. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching this one. We'll see you later. Bye.
And if you like historical cooking and unusual cookbooks, here's 2 more videos you might enjoy. And make sure to like and subscribe for more foodie adventures.